had this crazy idea that I kind of love to enlarge this room, like kind of pop this wall out, add a sauna, add a soaker tub. But let's face it, that would be thousands and thousands of dollars. And I don't have that right now. So I decided that I need to do something that, at least for me, is probably equally as relaxing. And that is making this bathroom a decluttered, simplified oasis. A bathroom that stays organized and clutter-free as much as possible. Now, I might be dreaming. I'm not sure. I haven't actually started it yet when I'm recording this, but I think I have a pretty good shot because I've put together a plan. Now, I knew when I embarked on this project that I was going to have to do more than I've done before. If you've watched my channel for any length of time, you may have seen the video where I deep cleaned this bathroom. And I'm really happy with the job I did there, right? Like, I deep cleaned it. I thought intentionally about the kinds of things I wanted to store in here, what I didn't want to store in here. And that's been very helpful. We've now been using this bathroom for months, and I have a good feel for how we're using it, what's working, what isn't. And I was able to do that without really like buying a bunch of stuff. I just used what I have, and that makes me happy. Like, I don't want to have a bunch of extra stuff that isn't serving any purpose. But we've now reached the point where I'm like, okay, I want to take this bathroom from average to extraordinary in terms of like clutter, in terms of functionality, in terms of like just the joy that it gives me to use this room. And so if I'm going to do that, I'm going to need to buy a few things, which I know is like very against a lot of my underconsumption minimalist tendencies. But I want to remind you that minimalism is not about not buying anything. It's about buying the right things, the things that you actually use, and getting rid of the things that you don't need and that you won't use. So to create my plan, I first took stock of what I like and what I don't like about this room. And I'm going to be honest, the lists are a little unbalanced because, I mean, obviously I wouldn't want to take this bathroom from average to extraordinary if there weren't some things that were bothering me, right? But one of the things that I like is this squatty potty here. This video is not sponsored. My channel is not big enough or fancy enough to have sponsors, but I love this thing. Like, I will always make space for it. I also love the things that I have chosen to keep in this bathroom. Now, I don't have everything in my cupboard right now. Like, I don't have all the towels and such that I normally store in here because they're in the laundry. But I, for the most part, like the mix of things I've chosen to keep in here. There's a few things here and there that I think need to be stored elsewhere or need to be decluttered or thrown out. But by and large, we don't have too much stuff in here. It's a good fit. And then finally, I also still really like these wall decals behind me. I'll do a little close up, but I put them up in my last video in this bathroom, and they still just make me really, really happy whenever I look at them. So those are the things I like about this room. I'm not going to touch those things for the most part. I will touch a little bit of the things that I store in here, just make sure that everything is still serving me, because obviously I don't always remember what I have in certain rooms. That's part of what you discover when you declutter. And I will be doing decluttering as part of this process. I mean, this is a minimalism decluttering channel after all. You know I'm going to be doing that. But I have a very long list of things that I would like to improve. The first thing for me anyway, and this is sort of an idiosyncratic thing, is that things get stuck between this curtain and this liner, like they get hidden. What happens is these things get set on the ledge and then forgotten about because I don't see them when I pull the curtain. And I don't like that. It stresses me out when I step in the shower and then there's just like a ledge full of things that could fall off. I also have this basket for my personal toiletries. Like, in theory, some of my personal toiletries are scattered about because I don't actually like having to dig through them. I have too much stuff in this basket. I can't see where all of it goes. And to be quite honest with you, it's very much a pain. Like, I have my toothpaste in here, but it's hard to find my toothpaste sometimes at night when I need to brush my teeth because there's a ton of other like makeup, deodorant, you know, pumice stone, large things, scrunchies in here that are getting in the way. And so as much as I love this basket, I don't think that it's the right use for this particular thing. I think I need something where I can see everything and I can easily grab the thing that I'm looking for. Another thing that bothers me is I have this water pick up here. And I love flossing with this thing, or at least I have in the past, but moving to this bathroom did not fix the fact that I wasn't using it. It's still kind of a pain to get down. So I'd like, ideally, for it to be a little bit more accessible. Also, this cabinet right here goes up to the ceiling, and it is a little bit hard for me to reach things up on the top shelf, but I need that storage for things like toilet paper. And so I'd like to be able to find a solution that allows me to reach those things. The front of this cabinet has like paper or something in the inlay. I don't really want to peel it off, but it does make the whole thing look a little bit odd. So I'd like to figure out something to do with that. And then I talked to my husband because after all, like we both use this room, and I was asking him like what bothers him about this room. And one of the things he said is there's no real way to access towels close to the shower. And he's right. The only towel hooks we have in this room are on the back of this door. And this room is not huge, but you do have to step out of the shower. It's like 2 or 3 steps. You're leaning forward to grab your towel. You're dripping all over the floor. It makes the floor quite wet. It makes you more likely to trip. And also, it's just like when you want your towel, you want to wrap up in it, you have to go all the way to the door. So it would be nice to have something a little bit closer over here that we could actually reach. Another thing that he pointed out, which I forgot, but is quite true, is that this shower head that we have currently leaks in multiple places. So our solution for that to this point has been we just sort of leave a washcloth on top of it so that it doesn't get all over the wall and, you know, start mold or mildew. But I don't love that either. And then finally, my husband pointed out something that I hadn't really noticed, I think because I just love this rug so much. But a lot of times when we shower, we'll have like 12 hours, we'll leave the fan running, and this rug will still have water standing on it, underneath it, whatever. It doesn't absorb super well. So while it might be fine for someplace like the kitchen, and I think we'll probably move it there, it's not great for this bathroom because we really want something that can absorb the water faster. Once he pointed this out, I was like, yes, I am totally on board, because if you remember in my last video, I actually found some mildew in this bathroom. And thankfully, since I bleached it, it has not come back. But we've been very, very careful to make sure that we leave the fan running, to make sure that we try to limit the amount of moisture that's just left hanging around in this room, because we don't want that mold or mildew to come back. It's not sanitary, it's not good. And honestly, if it becomes a recurring problem, we probably have to do some sort of repairs that would be much more extensive. So we're trying to do what we can to keep this room aired out, clean, fresh. So all of that to say, there's a very long list of things that we can do to take this room from average to amazing, problems that we can solve. And I am so excited. We went through each point on that list and we put together a plan for how to solve it. And I will show you exactly how we're doing that in a minute. Obviously, I haven't started yet. I'm in my before bathroom. But before we can organize and change things in this bathroom to make it like an integral part of our decluttered minimalist home, I have some things that I have to do. I have to clean, I have to declutter, I have to make sure that this is ready for the new things that we're bringing in. Because if I just bring in the new stuff, it's probably not going to solve the problem. I need to make sure that everything here is ready for it. So let's get to it. First, I need to clean. I need to get all the extra stuff that's landed in here out of the way. The trash, like unused conditioner, bottles, used up makeup, random empty things, the stuff that doesn't belong here, like this travel size water pick and the washcloths that are everywhere. And the stuff we no longer need, like these cleaning supplies that came with the house and that I never use. Whew! The minimalist in me is very happy at this point. I've gotten rid of this stuff I don't need so that I can focus on making this space the best it can be. So now, here's the part you've been waiting for. This is how I'm going to organize this bathroom to solve all my problems with it and make it a more integrated part of our decluttered home. First, I'm going to start with my own advice and begin with an easy win. Well, that rhymes. Actually, I usually say start with an easy win, so forget that I rhymed. I decided to solve my water pick problem and my inaccessible toiletries by swapping them. And I got an organizer for my toiletries, so it'll be easier to see them all in one place. I'm going to lay them flat. So I am really happy with the way this turned out. And I don't mind having the water pick out because it's out because I use it. I also got these nice clear bins for the top shelf of my cupboard so I can see what's up there, but I don't have to be able to reach all the way to the back to grab things. I can pull them out and grab the toilet paper or pads or whatever it is I need in these boxes. So then I'm going to leave the cabinet alone for now, although I am coming back, and switch to the shower. We're making some bold moves with this shower, and the one I'm most worried about is this next one. I decided to try something that is new for us, which is having a clear shower curtain. I have this map-themed shower curtain that we've been using as a liner in our other shower, so I'm going to clean it off and hang it up as our curtain. My thought process is it'll make it harder to hide messes in the shower, and from what I've been reading online, it sounds like it'll make the space feel more open too. So I'll switch out the liner we were using in the shower for the other one, and I get to declutter this blue shower curtain that was in the bathroom before. Okay, well, that all sounded good in theory anyway when I started, but once I cleaned it all off and actually put it up in the room, it didn't quite meet my expectations, as you can see from my face, like immediately after I hung it. The cleaning process made some of the map look like it was melting. So I don't know, it's an older shower curtain. I've had it for several years, and maybe the design wasn't the highest quality. I don't really know, but it wasn't exactly the way that I pictured, and also I couldn't quite get all of the cloudiness off. So I decided to head online and find something else if I could. I liked the look of these ones, these sun shower curtains, but I didn't want to spend $50 on a shower curtain when I wasn't really planning on spending anything and I was planning on using something I already had. So I found something with a similar vibe on Amazon, and I'll show you what that looks like in a minute. But since I had to wait for it to come, I think it makes more sense to tell the story in the order that we did it in. So with the shower curtain, as done as it could be at that point, because, we still needed something hung up so we could use the shower, we also were going to change out this shower head. Now, I originally had planned on doing this, but I am glad that my husband volunteered to take this project over, because look at the hard time he's having getting that off. Like, so tough. It was screwed in there so tight, which is good because that means that it's not leaking in our wall. But also, I don't know if I could have gotten that loose. I definitely was ready and willing to help, but thankfully he got it after a few minutes, and then he had an equally hard time getting it screwed back in tightly into the wall. So something I learned is plumbing is harder than it sounds when you're just reading the instructions, and I'm very grateful that he got it in. But I mean, this shower head is the most luxurious touch we decided to spring for with this project. I mean, look at this. It feels like a gentle rain shower when you use it, and the best part is that there are no leaks. We don't have to hang a washcloth on top of the shower head anymore. It just looks nice. It works. We're both just absolutely in love with the shower head. We could not be more pleased with how it turned out. And then to solve the towel problem for showers, my husband had the great idea to get hooks to hang on the wall closer to the shower. And he was thinking about command hooks, but I talked him into getting these really nice wall hooks that screw in. So, in this clip, you're seeing him dealing with his nemesis, which is finding studs in the wall. He didn't actually have too tough of a time with it, which is good. They hold their towels really well, and it's really easy to grab them when you're standing in the shower. And then finally, after I did a quick mop up to make sure that the floor was clean, it was time for our new bath mat. I actually went to Home Goods to get the organizing supplies and the bath mats for this project, and the one I wanted only came in a 2-pack, and so we're just creating extra softness for our feet. This bath mat really literally feels like clouds every time I step on it. So once we got to this point with the bathroom organization project, it's like 90% done. So I took a break for a couple of days and waited for the shower curtain to come in. I really wanted to have a sense of this space before I tackled the front of this cabinet. So I hung up the new shower curtain, and I really like how it looks. I'm so relieved. And it's also a very nice thickness of plastic, so it feels a lot more sturdy than the other one. So once that's up, I actually had the room as it was going to be, and I went back to the front of this cabinet. Now, it has this paper on the front, and at first I thought maybe I'd just try to pull the paper off but I decided that that wasn't a good idea because, first of all, I don't know what's behind there. It's probably like a lot of glue or potentially something I would have to sand, and I may not be able to get all of it off. And I do feel like partially torn paper would look worse than just the paper that it is. I also am guessing that there was like wallpaper or decoupage on it before. And so I thought about redoing a design like that, but even though I think that's what they had on it before, I was really worried about how it would hold up when it gets humid in this bathroom during showers. So I decided not to do that. And instead, I just stuck with my comfort zone. I painted something on the front. I used acrylic paints I already had, but took inspiration from the decals above the shower and the colors of the bath mat and the shower curtain as much as I could. I can always paint over this design if I get tired of it, but I enjoyed doing it, and actually right now I love it, and it's making the front of the cabinet feel less utilitarian and more like a functional piece of art. Plus, it's covering up that paper that just made me go, what is going on, every single time I looked at this cabinet. So we finally have the bathroom of our dreams, one with carefully thought out systems that will make it easy for us to keep things neat and organized. I am so excited about it because after using it for a few days, I think we hit the nail on the head. And having an amazing bathroom is such a boost to the overall feel of our house because we use this room last thing every night before we go to sleep, not to mention several times throughout the day. So I guess what I'm trying to say is I feel like after completing this project that it is totally worth it to pay attention to your bathroom when you're decluttering. I mean, you spend a lot of time in this room, and yeah, most of our bathrooms are pretty small, but it's the first thing you see in the morning. It's the last thing you see at night. You use it throughout the day. And when it's working for you, when it's organized, when you have the things that you need, that they're easy to find, when you don't have a ton of stuff that you don't need, and when you really enjoy being in this space, when you have to be in it, it makes a huge difference. It's one of those things that can make your life better every single day because you use it so much. At least that's what's happened for us. Of course, this room has not always been that way. We did just recently make it like the bathroom of my dreams with that shower head and everything. But when we first started using it, it was actually like one of my least favorite rooms. And if you'd like to see that journey, you can check out that video here. Otherwise, thank you so much for watching. I hope you have a great day, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye!